people ghost each other with regards to work too, right? It's like, I have a question to ask you about work and then you don't reply. I think that's very, very terrible too.
If you don't block and don't reply, it shows me that you want to know whether I'm going to continue to respond, to send you messages, but you take pleasure in that, but you don't want to reply. It's like, then there is another kind of ghosting. And it's something I do quite intentionally. This has to do with, have you experienced ghosting or being ghosted?
Okay, I don't really know if this is considered ghosting. I have a friend. Whenever I send her things, like, okay, we are not in very regular touch, but once in a while, I think it's just nice to just check if she's okay, how she's doing. So I would occasionally send her a video that I feel, it's relevant to her, like her interest, like gardening or whatever. She never replies. So how do you define that? I mean, even if I send you a video without any message, sometimes you just don't need to write any message, right? It's like, go watch the video, and basically it's like, tell me what you think lah also, right? In a way, yeah. No response. So weird, right? Twice already, Yeah. And the second one I sent recently was actually a Chinese New Year greeting. It was a video. It was that video I sent you. Yeah. And it had a message at the end, No reply. Is that ghosting? I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's several levels of ghosting that maybe we can discuss. First thing is like, so rude, never reply. That's one. The other type of ghosting is like when it comes to romantic relationships, right? Or like people are dating and they no longer want to be in touch with the person. They know that they will no longer talk to this person or go out with this person ever again. They block them, they remove all their whatever connection they have with each other. Now that's ghosting as well. That's like, of course, the extreme case of ghosting. So, I mean, these two type of ghosting, they do happen. I'm with you on that, like when I send someone something and it's not a group chat, I understand, right?
Yeah.
Correct, you don't have to reply, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But if it's a one message just for you, and if someone sends me something, you took the time, you thought of me, you took the time to send me something, it must mean something, right? And if you don't reply, I consider that ghosting, and I will be slower in my response to you as well in the future. Because I feel like if you are only texting me because you have maybe no one else to text or no one else to ask to go for lunch or whatever, then I'm just an option. You're not thinking that, you want to see me. Maybe you're lonely or whatever, and you don't reply. Then I'm going to to me, it's very clear where we stand.
Yeah.
So, in a sense, ghosting in this kind of level of ghosting, right, is almost like, it's like saying you give me permission not to keep in touch with you so regularly. You gave me permission to care a bit less about what's going on.
Sure. Yeah.
I will take it that way. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also, how do you consider this like partial ghosting? When people take a very long time to reply you on something that needs a reply. It's not even a hey, how are you kind of thing. It's a can you make it or la la la. So it's like people are waiting. So
if it's about an appointment, like you want to meet me for lunch, dinner or whatever, and I take days to reply, it feels like you are just waiting for someone else to
better offer.
And we're not talking about a group chat, right?
No.
I mean, again, this is like singularly you're asking. Yeah, it's like it feels like you're waiting for a better offer. It's like see how lah, If I'm free, then I go.
But even so, you can also just say, I might have something, so I can't confirm.
Yeah.
So at least that person can just kind of move on and decide what to do.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what goes on in a person's mind when or maybe they see it, they're busy and then they forget about it.
Yeah. So sometimes I tell myself, okay, blue tick is, because it happens to us too, right? We look at it and then we are like in the middle of something. It's like, crap, I shouldn't have opened it, but I did. And now it's blue tick, but I can't answer. Yeah. I don't have the answer. It happens. So I also sometimes say, okay, lah, give benefit of the doubt. Maybe it was that situation. But usually that kind of thing, it'll be a few hours. Okay. Eventually that person will find the time. Or maybe after that the person forgot. Then I don't know lah. Yeah. Then cannot
If it-
say already.
yeah, I think if it happens once, like this person is very regular in their responses, and then this one time,
Yes. That's
then
understandable.
yeah, then I'll
Yeah.
understand. Okay, maybe something
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
But if like usually I'm very quick to respond to my daughter, but then one time she sent me a very very important message, a voice message, uh, but somehow I missed it, and I didn't even my phone didn't ping. I didn't even see it,
Oh,
you know, until 2 days later.
right.
And then I
Right.
was horrified when I heard the
Right.
message, right? And I thought, how could this happen? So
Right.
yeah, I
Yeah.
apologize,
Yeah.
obviously. But then she also said, "Oh, I realized that maybe you missed it. That
Yeah.
because you are very regular."
It happens. Yeah. Yes.
But if this person does this consistently,
Yeah.
then it's a pattern,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Yeah.
Then I will forget it lah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna ask this person again.
Yeah.
Don't bother.
Okay. I've never ghosted anyone because I would just tell them something very conclusive and then I will block them.
Yeah,
Yeah. So that's how I deal with people I do not want to contact or for them to contact me. Yeah.
yeah. That's not ghosting because there's a
It's not
conclusion.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an ending,
Yeah.
right? And then you block them. That's fine. But people who don't say anything and then they suddenly block you is annoying and childish. Yeah, super annoying.
Or they just never reply lah. They don't block you, but you can send them, 3 messages and they may not even reply. Yeah.
Mm,
That's really ghosting, I think. Yeah.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I'd rather you block me so I know.
Yes.
And you know when someone blocks you, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So just block if you don't
Yeah. It's okay. Yeah.
then it if you don't block and no reply, it shows me that you want to know whether I'm gonna continue to respond to send you messages, but you take pleasure in that, but you don't want to reply. It's like playing this mind game, right? Like, oh, I have the upper hand, like this person is still sending me messages even though I'm not replying. Yeah, that's super annoying. That's also very childish, I find. Yeah,
Playing games. Yeah.
these mind games are just, yeah,
Yeah.
it happens far more common than people talk about. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, when it comes to like relationships and romantic relationships and people ghosting, I think there should be a class, like an online class or something to teach people how to end relationships
Yeah.
nicely. How,
Yeah.
like, even if you're not in a relationship, you're just dating, right? Like, if you
Yes.
no longer want to, like, maybe you went for one date and it's
Yeah.
not fit, just tell
Correct. Just say, yeah, I don't think, yeah.
unless the person is a complete creep, then, don't bother
Yeah,
giving.
yeah. Of course, if it's dangerous, then that's different lah. Then you will already block. You won't even just ghost.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, just completely block. But there should be something where people are more polite and more human, in responding. Like, why is it so difficult to just maybe we've not been taught enough on how to reject people, how to be polite about it, how to be I mean we're adults, how to be civil about it, like
Mature. Yeah.
not been taught.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've we look at people do it like they just avoid.
Yeah. It's I mean, we've been taught how to be nice. how
Yeah.
to be polite, like in civics class and all that, manners, how to have manners, but we don't know how to. It's almost when if you're saying no to someone, you just be rude.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no polite way to say no, but there is.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And I think mostly it's because of the lack of fluidity in our emotional language. Like we don't know how to in our minds, right, it's almost like black and white, right? If you have to say no, you have to be nasty about it. If you're
Yeah.
nasty, you have to be sweet about it.
Yes.
There is
Yes.
no in
Yeah.
between.
Yeah.
Actually, language is so fluid, right? A lot of
Right.
people say a
Yeah.
lot.
Very nuanced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have to use that, but I don't know whether it's the Asian context where it's very black and white when it comes to emotions. Like I hear very often also when you say no to someone, you say in a nice way, then people will say, oh, this person is trying to sweet talk when they
Okay.
say no. Like they are manipulative. I've heard people say this.
Okay.
They're being
Okay.
manipulative when they say no, but then they still want to be nice about it. And I will go like, there's nothing wrong. That's a nice way to reject someone. There is no need to be nasty.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I think even in Western countries, they ghost a lot too,
Oh yeah,
if
yeah.
not more. I don't know. Yeah. So I don't know if it's an Asian
Mm,
thing, like don't know how to reject people or let them down
yeah,
gently.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's not a cultural thing, then it has to be the lack of emotional intelligence, the EQ.
Communication skills.
Yeah.
I think people lack communication skills
Mm.
in general, and that's very scary because how else do you first connect? You have to connect with communication, right?
Mm,
Yeah, and then if you cannot do that proficiently,
mm,
how to survive?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe during childhood, nobody talked to them. Like when you are a kid, the only way to learn is to listen to the people around you, right? And how people talk to you, how you're being communicated to. And, I remember growing up, I have to, like in my mind, right, I filter out, like, this is not how I will do it.
Mm,
Because I look at my mother and my
mm,
father, right?
mm.
I know the way my father communicates is horrendous, right? So, and I'll say to myself, I will not
Okay,
communicate that way.
okay.
Inevitably, because it's so ingrained, right? I remember when I was maybe in my teenage years, that part of me came out. I mean, it was buried, it was in a shadow, right? It was buried. That part, the very harsh part of me came out in my teenage years.
Mm.
I remember when I was 13, 14 in secondary school, something happened, and then I was very harsh in how I communicated. And everybody around me was stunned. They looked at me like, oh my God, I
Where
didn't
did that
know
come from?
this.
Yeah.
And I shocked myself too, right? Like, oh, so sorry. Like that came out. And I realized that, that's I mean, it's all how we're ingrained, how we've been programmed, right, by our parents. And it's been so hidden, right? Like,
Mm,
and so I communicated that way. And I realized that cannot be used, it can only be used in some situations and not all situations.
mm,
Yeah. So learning, yeah, so communication is how we look at other people, whether we have this capacity to also filter, self-gauge. I think that plays a part.
But so that means when you were a kid, I guess it's natural when you know this is not right, this is not
Mm,
wrong, even though nobody told you,
yeah,
right? Your own innate compass
yeah,
is rejecting it, right? Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
But you still have no control over it, because even if, I mean, that harsh voice within me, it came out like in my teenage years, I had no control over it. And like I wanted to know why I behave a certain way. And then I learned, like as teenagers, our prefrontal cortex is not even developed.
Mm.
and we really behave out of instincts. And then it made me, looking back, right, made me act like my father, even though I rejected it, right? Logically, I rejected it, mentally, I rejected it, but then it still comes up because so many ways I have no control. And you have to be very conscious about it in controlling it. And
Okay.
yeah, so I mean, okay, this is a long story about communication, but that's how I see it. If people communicate or don't communicate, we learn that. And so that's why maybe the world in general, people are lacking communication, and so ghosting is so easy.
Yeah, it's like escapism now.
Yeah,
I don't want to deal with this, basically.
it's
Yeah,
difficult.
it's too hard and it might drag on. And they always don't give people the benefit of the doubt that
Yeah,
they can understand
yeah,
that you don't want this to go on.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's not giving that person a chance
Mm,
to say, yeah, okay, to react to it and
mm,
to hear that person's point of view, side of the story as well. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So I feel like this thing called ghosting, right? Even though it seems like it's not hurting people in a way, I feel it has a big rippling effect. It's when we normalize ghosting, it's like saying it's okay what to not
yeah.
talk about it, to avoid the difficult conversations,
Mm,
to say, no, it's very obvious, if I don't reply, that means I don't like. It's just I think in general, it just makes the whole mental health, emotional wellness in people, right? Especially in this age of the internet, it just makes it worse. People don't have the skills to navigate. They don't have a chance to even develop the skills when they
mm,
just ghost. You don't even
mm.
work on it. You don't have an opportunity to see through, right? Like
Yeah,
difficult emotions, to
yeah.
experience the difficult emotions. And that's why it feels like at this time, like even the smallest setback make make people spiral out because they don't know how to deal with it. They have not been
Mm,
taught. Very sad.
yeah. It's actually it's nothing. I mean, if someone doesn't want to continue dating or okay lah, relationship, I feel you shouldn't even do it on text lah. You should
Yeah.
meet face to face. But okay, let's just say dating. Actually, it's nothing. I don't feel that I want to continue dating you. It's actually nothing. But when you ghost someone, it makes it seem like it's so monumental. It becomes bigger than it actually is. It's like, I'm so terrible that you don't
Yeah.
even want to type one more word to me and you don't even want to reply. You mean I don't even deserve a reply? Yeah. So, like you say, the spiraling, right?
Yeah.
Then you make people think that it's actually a bigger deal than it is. Actually, it's nothing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this silent way of communicating, yeah, it makes things bigger than
Yeah.
what it actually is. Yeah. If
And
the receiver end, right,
correct.
mind just goes crazy
Yes,
thinking of
haywire and
yeah,
overthinks, overanalyzes. And that's why the society is so anxious.
yes,
Everyone has anxiety,
yeah,
social anxiety, lah, this anxiety, like even work related. People ghost each other with regards to work too, right? It's like, I have a question to ask you about work and then you don't reply.
mm,
I think that's very, very terrible too.
yeah,
Yeah, it may not be a relationship, romantic relationship, but it's a work thing, it's important or a family issue, you don't reply, sorry. Yeah. That's doing a lot of harm to people. Yeah.
yeah. I think people our age also do that. My sister does it to me, my older
I'm
sister.
not surprised. Yeah.
Like if I would, let's say I talk about something that happened because I was there, right, dealing with my parents.
Mm.
There's no reply. I go like, can't you even reply?
Yeah.
Like, can't you even say more? Like, if you don't like texting, then what is it? It's not like you don't. I don't know. I just find sometimes with family, especially when you don't reply to something that I share that meant something, right? And if you don't reply, I just feel like then
You
what's
don't
the point?
care.
Yeah, Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be the first thing that comes to mind.
Yeah.
You don't even care enough to
Yeah.
respond.
Yeah. Or like, I guess it's because they don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
It's obviously something that is, you know, quite stressful to talk about or not nice to deal with. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the I don't want to go there. I don't want to deal with it.
Mm.
Yeah.
And tell me.
Yeah. Yeah. I think at least having the decency to say, I don't know and I don't want, I don't know.
Just tell me, you know what, I don't want to listen to all this. Don't tell
Yeah.
me anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't deal with it.
Yeah.
That's
Then I
still a, yeah.
know where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Have the capacity.
Correct.
Help
Yeah.
me
Then it's like, okay, it's
to
fine.
listen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rather than like not replying. It's just
I don't know. For me, I'm like the opposite. I cannot leave something unanswered, you know. Or when I receive, like, let's say there's a text conversation and there's something that doesn't sit well with me, even when there's no question from the person who sent it, I still must like, you know, like, no, it's not like this. It's like,
yeah.
so maybe I'm like the opposite. I over communicate and I'm trying not to do that anymore. It's like, okay, Lord, it's like that, just leave it lah. Yeah. Now I'm learning to ghost in a way. Yeah.
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 You know, it's funny. I'm like you know, like in group chats, if it's not even addressed to me, but something is not right, I would call it out, right? And one time this guy sent a private message to another guy who wrote something, right? And so I responded. So another guy PM the other guy and said, "Oh, good luck to you. Now you're gonna get this long reply from Shamala, blah blah blah," right? And you know what this guy did? This guy forwarded that message to the group chat.
Did
And
he do it on purpose? Or he
he
was
did it on purpose. He said, like, what the hell? So in a sense, he wants me to know what is going on behind his back. And I thought, okay, well done.
yeah. Well, he could have sent it to you directly lah. Oh my gosh.
It became like it's all out
Oh
on
my
the
gosh.
turn.
Everyone's like involved and like,
Yeah. So I thought, okay, but
happened?
I felt maybe it's healthier um
Okay.
way.
Yeah.
And
No secrets since this is a group chat, right? Yeah.
so it was quite funny.
Wow.
Yeah. I thought that was I thought, okay, that's a good move because you
Like,
know the guy. I
don't
mean,
gossip behind. Yeah.
just
Yeah.
whatever
Put
you
it out
put
there.
it
Yeah.
out. So
Yeah.
that was good, you know.
Okay. And
Then
the person who sent that, how was his reaction when he saw it on
I
the group
don't
chat?
remember. I don't remember. But then I feel like after that conversation, from then on, it was a little bit more fluid. And there'll be times when he's not even involved in the conversation, like he doesn't contribute. I mean,
Okay.
we want you to know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
yeah.
then there are people who on group chat don't answer questions that are directed at them.
Yes.
Like you actually put their handle so that
Yeah.
they don't miss it.
Yeah.
No reply.
Yeah.
So busy, you president of United States. Yeah, that's always my thinking. Like you president of United States. That's why you're so busy. You can't even reply.
Yeah. I think sometimes people are just they don't care, right? Firstly. Secondly is they're just being rude, like no manners. They don't maybe in their minds they don't think it's important.
Or they take for granted lah. I don't know. Take you for granted. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
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 I cannot stand being taken for. It's like,
Yeah. If you don't like me, just don't talk to me. Don't you know?
correct.
Don't just cut me off or whatever. Like, don't be my friend. It's probably cleaner, yeah, than pretending and then wanting to be involved. But then when you send them a question, they don't reply. Yeah, that can be so annoying.
Yeah, and it's for me, this particular case was something that I was going to do for her. It was a favor, you know.
Wow.
I was asking whether she needed this, and the other person replied. So there are two of them, and then one immediately replied. This one never
Yeah.
replied.
So you presume they don't want to?
Yeah, so I'm not chasing your tail. That's my line. You too bad, lor. Yeah, you lost your chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know, this might seem very prideful and arrogant, but when I feel that people are taking me for granted and they ruin the friendship, right? I always tell myself, it's your loss. I always tell them it's your loss in my heart because I'm a very loyal friend.
Mm.
And yeah, I love very deeply and I'm very genuine. And so if you don't want that, it's fine.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have more time now to spend with other people.
Yeah, I feel you are very transparent. Like there is no like
Yeah.
mask, you are what you are and people
Yeah.
care, right? It's like, and if people don't like that, then maybe they don't have the capacity to take it in. Sometimes
I don't
people
know.
don't take and care
Yeah.
very well.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't know what's good for them.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then there is another kind of ghosting.
Mhm.
Um, and it's something I do quite intentionally. This has to do with being responsible for a group, right? So,
Okay.
like we're in a group chat, but we're in a group as well, and
Mm.
we have responsibilities. And
Mm.
then there are people with maybe got duties.
Mm.
And in the past, I would preempt people like, oh,
Mm.
you are due. This is your day to do the presentation or whatever.
Okay. Okay.
And I'll tell them you have to send it to me,
Yeah.
get it ready 2 weeks before the deadline.
Right.
And so I would, in a sense, like chase.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I stopped doing that for a year. I completely ghosted. I call it ghosting. I
Mm.
completely ghosted this duty where I don't chase. I tell you once, I no longer chase you.
Yeah.
And on the day itself, you don't have it, it's not my problem.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we'll just run with it because you don't have it. We'll just do without your segment.
Your segment. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not their mother, okay?
Yeah.
Even as a mother, I don't think you would do that. Nag and
Yeah.
nag and nag. Tell you once, don't make me tell you a second time, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think people take it for granted that there'll be someone always there to
To
remind
prompt
them,
them.
to
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
after a few months, people realize that I'm not giving any prompting. You don't do it, you don't do it. That's your
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
People
Correct.
started to like, oh my God, I better be
I
on.
better write it down and remember and take note. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
And
just, yeah.
yeah. I mean, this is like work related. To me, even when it's a social thing, be responsible for remembering when we're supposed to meet, what day, the time, where,
Yeah.
I have people in my life in the group chat, then they just take it for granted that the day before or the day itself, someone will very kindly remind everyone, hey, don't forget, I'll see you all, la, la, la. Then I will get all these like, huh? Where? What? Oh, what time are we meeting? Oh, where again? Oh man. And then sometimes it's pinned already, all the information, someone else already pinned it, like, oh, that cannot stand. That's also not taking responsibility for the friendship.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? Yeah, it may not be work related, but it's still, you have a responsibility towards your friends. You have accountability.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And being present for them. This is showing up for people, remembering when you're supposed to meet
Yeah.
up and all that. Yeah.
They need someone to like nanny them. And I feel like a lot of times people like to weaponize their so-called weaknesses, right? Their so-called incompetence.
I'm so blur. I don't know how to do this, do that. Yeah, on WhatsApp.
I find it really annoying when in a group chat, let's say we're all going somewhere and the address is already there. And then at the last minute, somebody will text in the group chat and say, what's the address? And then someone else will be so kind to like type in the address. And I always
Yeah.
say, it's in the group chat, search for it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, but I'm already late, I cannot search. Like, then someone else has to search for you, right? That's like complete weaponized your
Selfish. Yeah.
own incompetence. I find it
Yes.
annoying and
Yes.
tend to do it very often. Ladies, I don't know
Yes.
for some
Of
reason.
a certain age. I feel for me it's the boomer generation.
Oh, really? I've seen younger ones doing it.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know. That not that I have very many very young friends, but the young people I know, they're all very like everything can remember one lah. Bro, yeah. But it's always the boomer aunties. No, it's like
Do you think that's just their minds not being congruent?
I think they're lazy
Mm,
to take note of things because it takes effort.
yeah.
Yeah, you gotta put it down in a diary. You gotta type it into your phone or whatever. You gotta keep checking, right? Every day you gotta check what do I have on. And they just don't want to do that. They just want to go with the flow of the day and then suddenly, oh, I get an alert. Oh, okay. Oh no, I didn't realize I had this, you know. Oh, when is it again? Yeah. Tell me again. Like, who are you, man?
Queen of England.
I should like tell you I'm not your secretary, you know. I'm sorry. Get a secretary then. And I will deal with your secretary from now onward. Right.
That happens too. I think this whole, I don't know, mental health is really quite bad in the world these days. The more people are involved, like, online, the worse it is getting. People are not, I don't know, I just feel like even a normal conversation seems so difficult for people. Like, they can't even have a decent conversation anymore. They just want to go back to scrolling. The addiction is so real, right? Like, they don't even, like, they want to live in this other world.
They don't have to talk lah. It's one way. They
Yeah,
just receive. Yeah. It takes effort to communicate because you need to work your brain, what?
yeah,
You think about what you want to say, right? What you want to type.
yeah, yeah. Well, some people don't need effort because all they do is regurgitate or they just talk. They don't listen.
Yeah, those two, yes.
I think it's the listening that takes effort because when you have to do conscious
Yeah. Then you have
active,
to absorb what, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
and process it.
yes, that takes effort, and people don't want to put in that effort.
They're
Yeah.
just very, very lazy. It's funny that, okay, I recently was ghosted by someone. I cannot say who because it's very, very, very sensitive.
Okay.
Later on, I'll tell you after the recording. It's very funny. So a group of us wanted to invite this person to join us for a special chap gourmet dinner. But we were going to treat this person. We were not going to make this person spend money for it. We were going to share and yeah. So no first invite that I sent, no reply. I was very clear about it that it's not asking you to pay. It's like we want to invite you and no reply. So I thought, okay, now I'm very busy. Then a few days later, I texted again to say the same thing, but try to be even clearer. A week went by, again, no reply. So I told the group, I said, I think forget it lah. Just fill it with someone else. Whoever y'all want to bring one more person, just let's confirm it. Yeah. Because I'm not gonna, this is too much. Not even a no thanks, whatever.
Yeah.
So that was that. Then this person who ghosted me, birthday rolled around. Strange, right? On Telegram, sometimes your people's birthdays will pop up. If they key it in, it will pop up somehow. So I was like, oh, maybe that's a prompt from God to tell me use that to conclude, so that there's no question about that. In the end, you lost your chance to have dinner with us. So I said, okay, I will take this opportunity. So I wished the person happy birthday. I said, oh, by the way, because I did not hear from you, I've given away your seat to someone else, and who I even said who was going and all that because this person knows everyone. Immediately replied, so weird, and said, oh, thank you for the birthday wish, but no mention of the dinner. So it was almost like the dinner was a taboo thing, a very weird, I don't want to talk about it thing. Yeah. But the birthday wish was very well accepted, very well received, and said thank you for the blessings and everything. And that was that. I ghost you for certain things, but for certain things, I will reply you. Yeah.
Maybe the person doesn't know how to say no to the dinner, don't have the EQ to reject.
Where later I tell you who this person is, you'll be so shocked. Like, how can this person not know?
Oh,
Yeah, it's so weird. Yeah. And everyone was very baffled too, like, how come like that? Yeah. I said, never mind lah. Maybe, yeah, maybe there was somebody about connected to the dinner that this
yeah,
person didn't want to associate with. And
could be.
yeah, but you can still say no thanks. You don't
Yeah.
even have to tell me why or
Yeah.
explain. And you, even if you have nothing on, I just don't want to go.
Yeah.
Even if you say I don't want to go, it's an answer to me and I will accept it. Yeah, without offense at all. Yeah, it's your choice. I respect that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think maybe sometimes people overthink things, like they feel like they have to manage your emotions if they say no, right? And so they don't know how you're going to receive the no. So they overthink it like, oh, how am I going to give a good response without being like a bad person or whatever? And then they, then maybe that's why the.
But don't reply, also you can hurt that person, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
But if this person is Gen Z, for example, then okay lah. Gen Z,
No, not Gen Z.
boss lah.
Gen X. Gen X, our generation.
Okay.
Yeah. And then someone from the group said, you sure we should give away the seat? What if this person? I said, don't worry. Person turns out, I will tell that person, sorry, I check your text, you lose.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I said, it's fine. I will deal with it. Yeah.
Life was so much simpler, right? Before all this texting and all that, all we needed to do was like call somebody, ask them, hey, you want to go? Okay, don't want to go. Okay, don't go.
Put down the phone. Yeah. Call the next person.
We don't there's no overthinking, there's no all this nonsense, even you want to lie to a person, oh, I can't make it, something on. Okay, end of story. But now it's like all these, and then we have so many apps for communication, but the communication is
It's so bad. It really sucks, right?
It's just getting worse and worse. Communication is almost like zero,
Yeah.
Strange, right?
Yes. And like you said very early on, that you can't read tones and moods clearly on text also. Yeah. Yeah. So that makes it a bit more ambiguous, I guess.
Yeah. That's why in some messages, right, if I don't want the person to receive it in a wrong way, I'll leave a voice message. I feel like the voice will carry the tone, right? Like if you want to joke about it, you want to joke or even be serious about it, you can use the same words and they can.
And you will laugh. When you make a joke, you will laugh too. Yeah.
It will come off so differently.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. But the problem with phone voice mails, voice notes, I know why you missed your daughter's voice, because it appears as just a weird whatever. It's so subtle that sometimes people, when you send them multiple things, they will miss it. Yeah, I've missed voice notes too. Yeah, because it's just lost.
The thing is because I have two WhatsApp. One is like for my daughter and more private, so it didn't even ping. That's the thing. I thought,
okay.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Yeah, very strange.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but she's that generation that doesn't reply lah, which I'm very used to it already. Even I send her stuff like I don't hear from her, and then she would. What will happen is it becomes, when she contacts me, finally it'll be a long 1 hour chat, answering whatever that needs to be answered, talk about whatever that we haven't talked about, but then she's very bad in replying. I think that's quite normal for Gen Z.
That generation, yeah.
So many people talk about their children not replying, the Gen Z kids. I think that's very normal.
Yeah.
It's like us not replying to emails sometimes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's also ghosting. Yeah.
that's also ghosting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I okay. I have two different, maybe it's not right to have it, but I have two different sets of, I don't know, like values. Like for very close family, sometimes when you just send them a video, I don't expect a reply.
Mm.
But if it's a friend, like the friend I told you about, I hardly meet up with this friend. I feel that I expect a reply. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Is
Understand
that weird?
No, I understand where you're coming from
Yeah.
because with family, you are communicating constantly.
Yeah.
And if you send a video, they never reply, they never watch it, or whatever, no big deal. I send it to you. It's my way of showing my care. But if you don't want, then it's fine.
Yeah.
With
I don't feel offended when family
yeah,
doesn't reply. Yeah.
I think with friends is a bit different, especially if you don't see them very often. It's like if I don't even see you once every 6 months and I send you something,
Mm,
you don't reply.
mm,
It's like, what does
mm.
it mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very different.
Okay.
Family, your communication is much more regular, and
Okay.
so you kind of like, or let it slide because you're gonna see them anyway tomorrow, or you're gonna,
Yeah.
communicate with them.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but with this sort of friendships where you don't see them very often, I think it can get quite messy when they don't respond, like don't even acknowledge. I
Mm,
just find it so weird lah
yeah.
when people do that.
Yeah.
Why do they even think it's normal? Especially our generation. Yeah,
Yeah. That's weird, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Especially when they are the sort who will text you when they need something.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, if you're the sort who never reaches out, okay lah,
Yeah.
I can even at least say, okay, it's fine. Yeah. But if you need something, you text me,
Yeah.
you ask for my time, but you don't even bother to acknowledge something special I curated for you. That's not very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just shows where I stand with
Mm,
them. Yeah.
mm.
Yeah.
That is so true.
Yeah.
So true. But then there is the other type where people are constantly just blasting the chats.
The spammers. Oh, the spammers. Yes.
It's like every day they forward you things that like maybe
Yes.
news or whatever that
Yes.
you've already seen, and then it's like, are they afraid that I missed the news or something? Then like the group chat is just you're just being spammed. So I rarely respond to those
Is
kind.
it an older person? Because older
Of
people like to do that.
Yeah, I mean, older people understand. We just can't be bothered, right? We just don't reply, especially if it's family. We're just okay, whatever. But if it's a friend group chat, people around our age, and they do that, yeah, I just find it a bit odd. And then when I reply to whatever you post, you don't even respond back.
Yes, yes, yes. I've had that experience too.
Yeah, and to me, it's like, do you even
Yeah,
read what you forwarded?
yeah,
Did you even watch what you forwarded? Maybe you didn't, so you don't know what I'm talking about.
yeah,
It just makes me
yeah,
feel like, why are you doing that?
yeah,
So,
yeah,
you know, I just stopped responding lah.
yeah. I did have a church acquaintance who used to spam me with, wow, almost sometimes 20 different links and yeah,
PM.
use yeah, direct, not group chat, no.
Mm,
Direct, yeah. Until I had to block this person. Yeah.
mm.
And anyway, she's passed away. I don't know if I told you about it.
Yeah, I think you mentioned.
Yeah, yeah. So she's probably was pioneer generation.
Yeah.
So very happy to, oh, I know how to share. Then she just
Yeah, yeah.
shares with the whole wide world. Yeah.
I get that from my father. Every day it'll be like multiple things. The same thing he sends to me, he'll send to the family group chat. I'm like, why? Then my whole WhatsApp
But
is
it's okay lah. I mean, it's your dad. Yeah.
yeah, that's the
Yeah.
thing, right? So I just okay, whatever. I don't reply. I don't even look at it
Yeah.
because sending me things like songs by Frank Sinatra, like why?
Because
I'm
he
not
heard
the
it that
same,
day. Yeah.
I'm not the same generation. I'm not gonna be interested in it. Like it makes you happy. Then you listen to it. Like you don't have to send to everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what I've done. in response to all of this spamming is I send him back all the quotes that I've written, all the quotes that I curated, and I send it to him.
And does he respond?
Of course not.
Oh, okay.
I just thought, I mean, this is my own little cheeky thing that I do, just to, I don't know.
So cute. Maybe for all you know, he forwards them to his friends.
I
And
doubt so. Because
never
if it did forward,
know.
it would come back to me too, because it's all mass send, right?
Funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there are people in the group chat who never ever open anybody's like links.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to open everyone, but surely there is something that will catch your eye, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
There are people who just never, then no response, nothing. I think
Yeah.
that's a bit rude.
Yeah. I think some people, right? I mean, I'm in a group chat where I'm not as active. There are people very active. I'm like maybe in the mid range.
Mm.
And then there are people who completely silent,
Mm.
and they are there only because maybe they got added in and then they don't really want to be there. But they're there like for invitations. Let's say, oh, there's a meetup.
Oh,
Then
okay.
they will respond.
Okay.
But other than that, they don't really participate in
Okay.
any of the discussion.
I see.
There are
Okay.
chats like that.
Okay. Apparently, group chat etiquette says that you should still at least participate a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, don't be in that chat. Yeah.
Exactly. Just
Yeah.
leave, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like sitting at a, I don't know, at a table or gathering and refusing to say anything to
Yeah.
anyone. Then why are you there? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Or being at a gathering, but don't sit with them. You sit on another table and not.
I just want to eavesdrop. It's basically eavesdropping, right? Yeah. Spying on people.
I've had that. I've experienced that where it has happened, where this other person just sat on another table. I'm like, oh,
Even when there was space.
we can make space.
True. True.
Yeah, it happens.
Sometimes people just feel like since you all already formed the table, you know, they feel like I don't feel I belong anymore because the table has been formed. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, but if you are invited and you still insist on sitting there by yourself, then
That's weird.
lah.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
weird lah. Like,
Correct.
you know, yeah. But it happens. I mean, there are people who are socially awkward, so that happens. Yeah. From ghosting to communication. I guess
Yeah.
today's podcast is really about communication.
Communication.
Yeah.
And how not to do it.
Yeah.
No communication is not communication.
Yeah. Any parting words before we close this?
I think that WhatsApp can really ruin certain connections, I feel, in a way. Yeah, when we abuse it, when we misuse it, when we use it to hurt other people and like you say, weaponize it. Yeah. So let's keep it true and real, honest. Yeah, but still we can always still be polite about everything. Yeah. Our disagreements as well.
Yeah. For me, I like to say, don't be rude, just reply.
Weird. Yeah.
Whether you're Gen X or Gen Z or Gen Y, whatever Gen, right?
Or a boomer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.